okayfm 101.7.
Razak Kojo Opoku head of public relations Emma NLA. Yene no twetwe enkomo. Ebusapani Razak Kojo Opoku. Memo acha no pay.
Obakwa na mejo so.
Na bako de.
Oh, Yesu Kristo adaroma me ho ye pa.
Ami. Maba wo nchen no pay a. Ede be na ekoso. Na no na ye Alpha Lotto for. The room kwa twetwe nkomo hai. The second one so yes private Lotto operators association. Ede be na ekoso e wo ho. Wo mo so ma register, wo mo ye register wie ya, wo mo ye ma dwuma director oba afufure ba ya wo betwe wo contract mu wo bra enso na mra kwan so wo mo mpani di nkomo ne ye boso bo no a wo mo se o mo fa so bo no mo Razak Kojo Opoku o na ehyewa o boss a game no enkomo yi eni say
Bravo me medasi metia Ghana ma metia okayfm chief na. I think this is the first time publicly react to the issues Alpha Lotto Ghana Lotto Operators Association Omameki against NLA. Assembly mina ye mienu pe. Mienu ne say Alpha Lotto was operating beyond the terms and conditions NLA ignorant of Eman Alliance.
101.7.
First of all, uni hu akwanya say ono ankasa ebeye no independent live draw para to NLA 590 draw live on TV the same way NLA operating.
Abate yani on lawyer twetwe nkomo no so omo de no.
Forget about the lawyer. Let me deal with the issue.
Okay.
Forget about the lawyer.
Okay.
I'm speaking in the capacity as head of PR of NLA. And we have a copy of their contract. So may state the facts as they are. Forget about the noise that they are making. Oma common noise, let me state the facts clearly. So give me the opportunity to clarify. The amount of license need now to the moment was said, Omobe issue point of sale terminal. Now, Modia Ton Lotto. Lotto a vague Lotto because NLA Veterans Administration Ghana, our 5-year collaboration. On that basis, any more license. Ye institutive vague Lotto, ye born an opebia. No more point of sale terminal and sponsor Lotto no. Now they will depend on the draw of NLA. Timino can say an opebia NLA ye vague money Lotto draw. There's no way in their contract stating clearly with that ambiguity say private Lotto operators now have more licenses on the basis of agreement between NLA and veterans. No, one can't be to me the Mrana se wonsem one koye one of the machines are or mining ababu pretty a parallel live draw on TV. 590 live draw on TV. They should produce that part in their contract to Ghanaians. Only one Sakonya. And NLA for yes, I did about. That was the reason why we gave you license. And Alpha was doing, and even in fact, recalcitrantly. So now, or live draw. They say the NLA area. Now, when you're a good citizen, you will not fight your regulator. A big collapse the work of your regulator. Because NLA Minano about draw of numbers. About draw of numbers. A son of pay a couple amount for a bit of Moloto. And you may Yakobo draw 5 out of 90 numbers. na the number by no ye tua ne ka the number ama so sika no ko aban no.
Okay.
So the moment you allow a private person, so no the same thing to NLA. If NLA doesn't enforce the law, near town higher, now public, it could develop confidence in that illegality. The draw of NLA will become useless. And amount for Lotto because of the draw of NLA. In effect, you have collapsed NLA. So should we sit down and allow NLA to collapse under MPP government? Absolutely no way. That's the track of the matter. That we will allow you to do live draw parallel to NLA, which on terms and conditions, a mouse upon your necessary for your side. And NLA is now no ma. Near Shahaya, Sebi, Abano Crano, the Yagun animati. The big president Soprano, Sebi, yeah, the man the work. Because ultimately putting measures in place. Now, a private person.
Okay.
And your 590 live draw. Security now call one city crown call buy home. Now and the day as I collapse NLA.
My maintenance I had never miss a question. You ha. Krata amodima woman, nano central for shame on the man. What was a kratano is printed black and white. Say one more coin say. 1 more year, sir, draw or a so yen. And no one on the Guinness so the man lines. Lines are more the ma woman. Let dear Benna a woman power by ABC or may day.
You point of sale terminal.
Any idea?
No more kind of my main kind that portion of the agreement to you. Okay, section 14 of their contract now. Also, local draw committees and draw processes. A local draw committee shall be established by NLA, not Alpha Lotto, not Lawyer Atukudia, not Ghana Lotto Operators Association, but NLA.
Okay,
to supervise the vast 595th audience. NLA or its agents shall conduct quarterly inspections and calibrations of all draw machines, which Alpha machines the NLA has never calibrated it. So the draw no now is illegal and it's at the detriment of the state.
Calibration and idea.
Say, yeah, craft and authority, say the draw machines about my demand. I said they call Ghana Standard Authority. Now, or more make assessment on it to make sure that it meets the standard requirements. Now, so no, the operation department, I inspect said that machine, said the ultimate fan perpetrated fraud against the stating public. And draw balls now you do machines now. Used by the operators to operate their Lotto draw games. The operators shall grant NLA or its designated agents unexpected access to the premises where the operator draw machines are situated for the purpose of the inspections and calibration. So who's the motor has NLA come there to inspect their draw machines? Has NLA calibrated their machines?
Now more
because national Lotto regulations, LI 1948, section 1. Or say, in pursuance of section 41 of the National Lotto Act 2008 at 722, the board is not the Director General. The board. That's one thing they must understand. Board, as a Lotto draw committee for them. The Director General has no power under the National Lotto Act and Lotto regulation to set up a draw committee for any Lotto operator. It's the board of NLA, not Director General. Of the National Lotto Authority shall establish a committee. The draw committee consists of the Director General of the National Lotto Authority as the chairperson. The Chief Internal Auditor of the National Lotto Authority, at least a magistrate nominated by the Chief Justice, the Chief Accountant of the National Lotto Authority, one other person nominated by the Minister for Finance and Economic Planning, and 2 other members of the board. They shall be present at every Lotto draw, at least 3 members of the committee. The authority, before see a draw no. And I said these compositions members are there. Without them you can't draw. Even we as an authority. How much more you a private person? Which NLA has NLA board. It's not director. If director general write a letter to you, you must get the relevant ask and find out director general letter or the money, you know, is it grounded in law? Is it in consonance with the law? Because SOU business in a way a man will be to me raising questions about it.
Okay,
now the director general submit or supported that letter with an instructions from the board, with a minute from the board. So on which authority was their former director general acting on? So clearly we haven't set up a draw committee which is supposed to be done by the board of NLA for Alpha Lotto to supervise a draw. So the draw no is illegal. Only who quite for yes idea. Now say only who quite say we yes are draw now we know. Because draw now we know is going to collapse NLA. And we can't sit down for a private person, parochial interest to collapse state organization. We can't do that as a patriotic citizens. And secondly, let me clear this one. And secondly, when you read their contract, it's also not stated anywhere in their contract say Ombudsman cooperating a short code to sell their games. Because NLA, no, there were different licenses. There were companies I am more license. Omono who's a multi-local PSU. Omu use USSD, the kind of short code or web or no money telecommunication companies, no, NLA, supervised by the NLA. To be 3 years 787. A collaborator, Yaman a license, or using USSD. 2 3 year entity for Google Lotto kiosk and continent. They were the same thing. The same thing. KG or the same thing. These are companies I have more license to use USSD and web only to operate Lotto regulated by the NLA. Maybe what companies are Lotto marketing companies or more directly for the NLA. NLA down or more for revenue mobilization for the government. Any private Lotto operators Alpha more and the rest. Among the licenses they more say Uberisu POS machine, point of sale terminal, water Lotto kiosk at one. Omo mi USSD, entity contract kiosk. Why take kiosk into USSD? Ubi our USSD, who person for kiosk, you have to pay the specific license for that. Who take kiosk now person for USSD, you have to pay specific license fee for that. As you speak, Alpha Lotto should produce a receipt of amount of money where to NLA say or pine a short code 896 and 590 days. I must say, my companies in 1 million and a bank guarantee as a 5 million. Almost say you are not being patriotic within the country. You are pretty for the last 30 years. For the last 30 years. And no ferry anywhere you say for the last 30 years 1 million pen what you are buying. And no ferry 30 years of parroting the game of government. What you just 1 million for the government. And you want to use that 1 million to do everything and also collapse NLA. What kind of character and attitude are we tolerating in this country? You are accusing KGL. Say, when your alliance is there, fine. Paul Amante was a bit for. KGL came a year ago. But within that a year ago, they have paid over 30 million to the National Lottery Authority. 30 million to the National Lottery Authority within 1 year. We want to have 1 million for 30 years to the government. 30 years are what parity are buying product. 1 million pen are buying your fuel. Ubiba 1 year pay are buying 30 million from the person. And then the core mandate is revenue generation. That's one thing they must understand. It's revenue generation for government through the consolidated fund. That's the core mandate of NLA. So the argument they are making, you can't open to me 30 million to operate only a short code, and that person on one cancer engine a draw before. He depend on the draws of NLA. by saying 30 million to the NLA for just depending on our draw. What you are 1 million Ghana cedis alpha. Oh, you 590 draw the same as NLA. Open so collapse the NLA. Open so say the short code. A brown tier 1 CD for it. Now one can now assess yourself. Be honest with yourself. Adia me any tataki, any atakabensem. Am I not destroying my regulator and undermining the revenue mobilization efforts of the government? Let us be patriotic for once.
But say as it stands now,
yourself for once.
Eddie Razak, as it stands now, no, their contract remains abrogated.
NLA has not said that they shouldn't operate. In fact, companies are more licenses in Milano. Who is a Lotto and lotteries or a draw with TV so the same as NLA? You want to collapse NLA?
OKFM. Okay.
Who said other companies? Could have more Obri and Sans more the rest or more short code? Abra won't pay a license for it. So other companies, you know, I am more license, almost to pay 1 million, they say 1 million after chair, you know. They are operating within the terms and conditions of their license. Alpha non offense or yakaka bensem or yeah membership or hiding behind political influence. But I must be honest and be truthful to him. It won't work. Ghana first. The interest of Ghana supersedes and is supreme to any individual interest.
Now, Razak, woman, na Lotto no, woman chawia, woman to say
Lotto no. Let me read the law to you. And I think the media, you also need to educate yourself properly on the laws governing the sector of lottery. Because media for the baby, no, who can say National Lotto Act, NI 1948. Baby article, we might for the only Mukran kind you. So there will be the tax channel or bar, ultimately challenging on the basis of the law. Where there are no accounts and no go water, no accompany the baby. And it doesn't help you. You are not helping the public. You say issues be bad. Or communication industry or mining industry. Go and get the relevant laws for that particular. When the people come, you confront them with those laws.
Isaac Simon Ganchose. Nancy, I will try with you. Not by a singer. Singer, one it is. I don't want to know about
the media should properly educate themselves. Any particular sector, the relevant laws, study it so that you can ask thought-provoking questions.
Okay, it's in the
section 4 of the Act.
Okay, section 4.
Prohibition of lottery. A person other than the authority shall not operate any form of lottery.
OKFM.
Let me go to the Veterans Act, section 22 of the Act. On the basis of the also more license. Of course, that Act to honor, I take it clearly and power to hold lottery. The administration, in this case, Veterans Administration Ghana, it's not even shall, may hold lotteries or raffle or similar games for the federal or its objects in accordance with the National Lotto Act 2006 at 722 and the Gaming Act 2006 721. It's a veterans, no, almost person lotto. That lotto has to be regulated by the National Lotto Authority. Or person casino, sports betting, and others, they have to go to the Gaming Commission of Ghana to regulate it. That is the law. It's stated black and white. So to me, we are lawyer, and I said, I don't want to use it. I have to be corporate. Sebi, article there, you are a lawyer of good standing. When you are together with drafted the act, Sebi, go back to the act, read it, and interpret it well to the understanding of government. Get the copies of the license, read it well, interpret it in the local language for them to understand. You can't do live parallel draw to collapse NLA. You can't do a short code which you haven't paid money for it. These are the two issues we are dealing with. Apart from that, we are not saying they shouldn't operate, but they cannot operate in territories and jurisdictions they are not paid a penny for it. And they can't do a draw. And NLA will not allow any private company to do a parallel draw to collapse government entity. They shouldn't allow that.
Razak, My must two questions in name from community. But I say now, as it stands now, one more draw or mubayeno, say one mujaye, number the moon bubble bono, and I say one more
shadow be a mobile license in all of them except Alpha Lotto. And there were capital group led by Tukudia and Omario Mose. They operate their own draw. They will make the nonsense of NLA draw, collapse NLA. Hey, what do 1 million they collapse NLA? I mean, revenue mobilization for government, while operating for 30 years, where you get 1 million for government, and you want to use that 1 million to collapse NLA. Are you serious after people? Now, we are on what you 30 million within a year, or not going to operating a live draw prior to NLA, and we should allow you 1 million to do that and collapse NLA. Are you above the laws of Ghana? Are you better than anyone in this country?
Now, Razak,
we are not against anyone. But the best from they must operate within their terms and conditions of the license. The demand, yeah, my license is about draw 590 draw. Now, for collapse NLA. Now, collapse NLA. Now, license, you know, one the baby new amount.
Baako a wɔn kyerɛ mu ne sɛ yɛne lawyer di nkɔkyɛ mu sɛ wɔn deɛ deɛ wɔn operate under VAG ɛna mo so mo deɛ ne
look at this and I'm saying a lawyer but I said you should go back to law and or upgrading yourself. Okay, section 22 of the Veterans Act now who operating now it tells you that the veterans should conduct raffles regulated by the NLA and our license now a demand no ohwɛ your sister. The license are the amount. It's clearly say license of Lotto operator agreement under Act 844 between National Lotto Authority and Alpha Lotto Limited. Do you understand? That's created by the NLA.
Okay.
Veterans crown engineering collect Lotto draw abra is not regulated by NLA.
Matthias,
they themselves cannot even do that. And I see one thing I took the MSN or a lawyer. On the only National Lotto Act, NLA Veterans Act now, they to be a Ghana Publishing Umbrella. Section 3 of the National Lotto Act. Time and place for conducting National Lotto. National Lotto shall be conducted on date and at place and time and subject to conditions that the board of the authority in consultation with the minister, in this case, Minister of Finance, certified by publication in the Gazette. The Director General the Director General, who Director General, what power do you have under the Act to even approve games of a private lottery operator without the board for approval? Because who Director General let me read it to you. Section 45 of the National Lotto Act. The Director General shall, subject to direction from the board on matters of policy, be responsible for the day-to-day administration of the authority and perform other functions determined by the board, not determined by the Director General himself. It is a command contract. Now contract, you know, study board chairman, signature, witnessed by board secretary. Now with the name a valid contractor, not clearly. One can say be away. Because every contract at the NLA, when it comes to collaboration, in accordance with section 24 of the Act, it has to go through to the board for approval. The board chairman must countersign witnessed by his board secretary. Omo contract is from the board chairman signature way, board secretary witness signature way. Okay, so clearly, after you understand, one, NLA and MPP party is not against private lottery operators operation. In fact, MPP is the only government since the Fourth Republic are making arrangements to even regularize the activities of the private lottery operators. In the NDC time, I have a letter here dated 3rd December 2013, signed by Justice Razak Kojo Opoku, Judicial Secretary, establishment of local courts. NDC have establishing 11 local courts. Say your family to banker people. I have appoint a date of Gazette notification here, dated 24th April 2013. Appointment of Public Prosecutors Instrument 2013. Signed is under the signature of Mrs. Marita Bru Apiaopong, former Attorney General Minister for Justice. Almost setting up the Lotto course appointed prosecutors say they make it global members in Nania Fomokotum. MPP said no, because of current section 36 of the Constitution, the government should create an enabling environment for a private sector to flourish. And we decided to bring you guys on board, enter into an arrangement with veterans, bring you on board, give you license, so that you can also do your work in accordance with the law. And the work to be dignified. But not just say the more to say for the boy the queen. It doesn't give you that license to go and operate a para-independent live draw without authorization from the board, without authorization from the sector minister to collapse NLA. Why do you want to collapse NLA?
Okay. And yet, Razak, and Benisha coming to Medasa pa, the agents na no kasa of a why. Mesmedasa pa.
Sinia for the demo, more educating myself properly. Now, for by a martin actually top provoking question.
Editing your fair one.
Their mischief and ignorance on it.
Yo, Mate. And yet, Naso actually my okay, 101.7 is so any.
Okay, FM 101.7.